The real question is that delicious almond meatloaf or to make a juicy meatloaf recipe, but the simple way with the like the link to the video will be the description below. Go in second. So let's get into this vaccine in 3, 2, 1.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best homemade meatloaf. This is going to be really
Meatloaf.
easy and you're going to love this recipe. Okay, let's jump right into it. Take a look at all of the ingredients that we have right here. This is what you're going to need to make your meatloaf. Let's start with the ground beef. So here I have 80% lean meat. Now what I like to do is take my meat out about an hour in advance, and I like to do this just to allow the temperature to come up a little bit. I notice that when I'm working with meat that is just like really cold, it's harder to mix. Okay, so I took this out in advance. So off here to the left, we have our diced vegetables. This is onion, bell pepper, garlic, and fresh parsley. I'll also be using eggs, soy sauce, milk, and bread, as well as my seasonings. So just a quick look at the seasonings. Here I have Morton's Season All Seasoned Salt, crushed red pepper flakes, McCormick salt-free garlic and herb seasoning, paprika, and ground black pepper. As always, all of the ingredients and measurements are going to be written down below in the description box, so go ahead, screenshot the recipe, okay? Okay, don't y'all ask me in the comments where the recipe is. It's in the description box. So go ahead and prep all of your ingredients. And the first thing that you want to do is you want to add the bread to the milk. Now, I did get this question in my other meatloaf video. People didn't understand, why are you doing that? Well, the reason you want to do that is because the bread is going to add moisture to your meatloaf. So if you think of the bread as being a sponge, if you add dry bread to your meatloaf, it's going to suck up the moisture. Whereas if you add wet bread to your meatloaf, it's going to add moisture, okay? So go ahead and soak the bread for about 10 minutes. Once you've measured out all of your seasonings, go ahead and give them a quick mix. You're going to sprinkle them all over your ground beef. And from here, we're just going to throw everything into the bowl, okay? We're just going to throw it all in there. All right. Now, if you decide to saute your vegetables, you might not want to add them raw. Now will be a good time to do that. Go ahead and saute your vegetables to soften them up a little bit. You can cook them for about 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes. Get them soft, okay? Otherwise, you can just dice them down really fine, just like I did. And you might still have a little bite, in your meatloaf. If you're okay with that, which I was okay with that, then you don't need to saute your vegetables. So after you've added everything to the bowl, give it a good mix. And now we're going to transfer this into our baking dish. So I'm using a 9 by 13 inch casserole dish. You can use any type of dish that you have available. You don't have to grease your pot or your baking pan. You don't have to spray it with nonstick cooking spray. Just, shape your meat into the shape of a loaf, and then you're going to bake this inside of your preheated 375-degree oven for 40 minutes. Now, while that bakes, let's go ahead and make our glaze, okay? The glaze is going to add that extra oomph to this recipe. So make the glaze. Now you want to start out with the barbecue sauce that you love. My favorite barbecue sauce is Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and that's what I'm using. And I'm going to add to this ketchup, mustard, and brown sugar, and I'll mix all of this together, and then I'll just let this sit to the side, off to the side somewhere until I'm ready for it. So now here's my meatloaf fresh out of the oven. This is after 40, maybe about 45 minutes of baking, okay? This is what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drain all of this fat. I don't want that in, I don't want to see it. So now from here, I'm gonna take that delicious glaze and I'm gonna top this meatloaf with the glaze. So I'm going to increase the temperature on my oven to 475. I put mine back into the oven for about an additional 15 minutes. Check the internal temperature of your meatloaf. Once it reaches 165, your meatloaf is done. Wait about 10 to 15 minutes before you cut into it. You don't want all of those delicious juices to just flow out of your meatloaf, so that's why you want to let it rest, okay? Now, I'm going to pair this with some mashed potatoes, and I will show you how I made these. I used Yukon Gold and russet potatoes, and I boiled them in salted water, mashed them up after they were done, added butter, some seasonings, and then I will also add some heavy whipping cream. So when you make mashed potatoes, you always want to just do everything to taste, okay? And yeah, mashed potatoes are really, really easy to make. You know, not much thought has to go into making mashed potatoes. This meatloaf pairs really well with mashed potatoes. You might want to add some vegetables on the side. I really hope that you guys will try this meatloaf recipe. Let me know how yours turned out. As always, thank you so much for
I'm going to give the meatloaf a nice 10 of 10. I give the meatloaf a 10 of 10. Yep. You look up. Yep. I give the meatloaf a 10 out of 10.
supporting this channel, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
That was delicious on my meatloaf. Ultimate juicy meatloaf. Meatloaf versus speed by the symbol word with the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check out and drop a like if you like, and comment down below if you want to see more reaction like this one, and subscribe if you want to, and click the bell to be notified below. And what? Bye.